Welcome back inside the Gamecocks, the show, of course, sponsored by Manscaped. You get 20% off and free shipping with the code BIGSPUR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code BIGSPUR at manscaped.com. Second hour of the show is brought to you by the Burgesson team at Remax by the Lake. Remax at the Lake, and that's give them an email for all your commercial real estate needs. Beregeson Burgesson at remax.net. And we're joined on the McKellar Enterprises guest line by none other than Michael Flint. How you doing, man? Happy Friday to you.
How y'all doing?
Really good, man. Really good. It's Friday, so that's good,
man. Yeah, it's early pickup day at school, and I got home. I had to go pick the kids up. Got having help.
Hey, man, that happens to me sometimes. Like I'll have carpool duties that interfere, and so does Phil. It's it's interesting. I take a lot of pride in carpool.
Oh yeah, it's fun, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that people don't need to F with me when I'm in carpool mode, man. I'm a Karen out there, you know. Roll down your. Let me speak to your manager. No,
there's a few of them out there. I'll tell you that.
Oh, no doubt, man, no doubt. So, all right, Gamecocks. Obviously, things did not go well last week. Very good team in Georgia. We talked offense all week. I think defense too. A lot of those guys need to kind of take a look in the mirror and have a good game. Charlotte's got a good offense. They're the lowest ranked total defense in the country. They've given up 40 points, 7 straight games dating back to last season. Michael, this is a get right game we've been talking about all week. It almost feels, I don't know. You kind of go into it. I don't really have a good feeling or a bad feeling about the game. I'm kind of shocked it's a sellout, to be honest. And I'm kind of neutral and wanting to kind of wait and see. And just your take on last week, this week, everything.
Yeah, no, I understand the feeling. I mean, we've underperformed on offense. I think when you see what the weapons that we've brought in, as an offense, the unit that we put out on the field that first game, and then to see the lack of success that we've had, and not only that, but the lack of execution. We just look, we don't look organized. It looks like we're just kind of going through the motions at times. And, the excitement that was built up around, this team, the offense. And I think from a fan perspective, the letdown of what's, kind of happened over the course of the last 3 games, has been tough. It's been challenging. I think there's a lot that needs to be done, especially this game, going into it and trying to look ahead and really trying to learn from what's happened these past 3 games. I do like the multiple looks that we give. We did use a lot of shift, a lot of motion against Georgia. There was times in that first half, Georgia, you could see them trying to communicate with each other. You could see them moving around. You could see them not exactly sure what they were doing. We just couldn't take advantage of it. And I think the most important thing that can really come out of this game for South Carolina and for the remainder of, kind of this season is Spencer Rattler getting comfortable, is him being able to settle down and really the game slow down for him a little bit, and, being comfortable in the pocket and really being able to, not playing off his back foot so much, being able to feel the pressure, not see the pressure. And I feel like that's been one of the biggest things for him is he's seeing the pressure more than feeling the pressure. And that was evident against Georgia, and even on the first drive, I think it was the second play of the game. If he, instead of dropping off to his back, taking his drop and stepping up, he took his drop, he kind of faded because that pressure started coming. But there was actually a little bit a pocket to step up in, but he's not used to having that, and he's used to playing on his heels, and so that's, I think, the most critical thing. And I think the second most critical thing is being able to establish the run and have success on first down, because that's been another big problem. Is hey, watch out, man. That's been another one. That's been another problem. Is we've been too predictable. The lack of success on first down has made us more predictable to where defenses more so can pin their ears back and rush on certain down and distance situations rather than having to play the run and then see the pass and then rush. So, not allowing the defenses to kind of, per se, pin their ears back and rush the passer to allow Rattler, some time to step up in the pocket. But I think for him, getting him comfortable again, gaining that confidence, I think that confidence he had in the preseason, that confidence he had in Oklahoma. And I think what we can do, a lot of that is just some quick game passing, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, some quick game, and I say trying to stretch the field horizontally and getting guys in different positions to really stretch the defense and make them really work to fill those zones defensively. There were some times against Georgia where I think if we stretch the field more horizontally on the quick game, it really puts more of a stress on that defense and can give Rattler some bigger holes to throw in, because he made some throws against Georgia that were really good, and he put them in tight windows, and you could see how good he is when he could take his drop, step up in the pocket and throw it, how good he really can be.
Talking with Michael Flint, little Flint back there, right here inside the Gamecocks, the show. So that's good there. And those of you that are out there that were streaming, one of the platforms is conked out on us. So
Yeah,
if it's,
I have no idea what happened.
I don't know, is it YouTube? Is it YouTube? Hopefully it's not. But anyway, catch it.
We're still going. Yeah,
yeah, we'll have Wando's video up afterward. Anyway, on the YouTube channel, technology, right? The Dakarian Joyner call, and that's been the subject, a big subtopic this week. 3rd and 6, you're driving, you've gotten a first down. Rattler had a nice pass there to Stogner for the first. I thought Marshawn Lloyd's first run was pretty good. It was only 3.5 yards, but I thought it was a little more than that. But he had a hole. Why on earth go to that in that situation? Look, explain, because maybe there is a good reason. So.
Yeah, and I think it's about the mentality that you take. I think last week what I said about Coach Spurrier, I think holds true, and it's we don't want to focus on the defense per se. We want to focus on us. We want to focus on what we do. We want to get really good at what we do and being that style of offense that you want to play and making the defense adjust to you. And I think it's we've overcomplicated it. We're trying to outsmart the defense or build our game, build our scheme of what we want to do around what the defense is doing. And I think it goes back to that concept of, we know who we are as an offense, and we want to get really good at what we do and execute the game plan based on what you have in your playbook. And, I did like the multiple looks that we gave, but, that inverted wishbone, where did that come from? I hadn't really seen that much. And it's like we used that a lot formationally with shifts and motions and all that kind of stuff. So, it's all about, kind of how you prep and how you plan for the week. And I think, it goes back to being, how you are as a coach and how you prepare for a game. And I think a lot of what we do is, game plan around what the defenses what that defense does. And so I think that's just what we do. You'll see different looks. I know it's, we all ask, what is our identity as an offense? And I think, I don't know if we're still trying to figure it out or not, but, I know what we do need to do is we do need to be able to run the football and have success on first down. And that's something we haven't been able to do, because I tell you what, Marshawn Lloyd is a hell of a running back. And if you give him a little bit of running room, he can make a guy miss, or he can run a guy over, and he can get you 15 to 20 more yards, or even break one to the house. So we've got to be able to get him the football, and we've got to quit being so putting ourselves in bad down and distance type situations.
Yeah, and one thing I saw, Perry Orth made a comment, I think on it might have been one of Brad Crawford's tweets, Michael, was, Spurrier would run basically a limited number of plays, but through a large book of formations. Try to keep it simple, but you're basically running the same play. Is that, can you concur with that? And maybe that's one of the things that we need to, kind of separate and make it a little easier on the guys, not line up in so many different formations, but or not run so many different plays, but maybe line up in different formations and just run what we're good at.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, and Perry's 100% right himself. There's with Coach Spurrier's offense, you could where the guys end up. You end up in a spot, and how you get there can change. And so that's where do you line up in a twin, a two twin set? Do you line up in a trip, one receiver wide, it trips to the other side, and it's all about how you get those guys to that spot. And so, in all theory, an out route could turn into an over route or a climb route lined up on the other side of the field. So it's really all about how you get that guy to that place. Does a drop back turn into more of a play action bootleg to allow time for those guys to get to the other side of the field? So let's say on a flood route. And so, it's a lot of it is exposing the holes in the defense that you see through prep, and it's getting guys to those places. But it comes from multiple looks, and it comes from utilizing, the run game, to then utilizing play action, to then really setting up the next play, setting up the next drive, and seeing what that team is doing defensively and how they line up based on those situations. And what you can do to kind of expose the weaknesses. So, yeah, Perry's 100% right. Coach Spurrier was really good at doing that and really utilizing multiple looks. But in all theory, you're running kind of the same play because the guys are ending up in that same area or that same weakness of the zone where you're having a defender, whether it's a linebacker, a safety, or a corner, really having to make a decision and choose one guy or the other. And that's why I say kind of stretching the field horizontally or vertically and getting guys in those positions where it really puts stress on that player for that particular play. And, going back to what JC said, it's kind of, you look at what Antoine Wells has done the first couple of games of the year and then what happened against Georgia. And I almost think that's kind of, going back to, I say Coach Spurrier and what he talks about, we want to be really good at what we do as an offense and as a unit. And, it was times where you see Sidney Rice and Kenny McKinley against some really dang good defenses have really good games. Because we were able to scheme and adjust a little bit, but we still didn't go away from who we are. And I love kind of what we did with moving guys around against Georgia, the shifts, the motions, the inverted wishbone look, and we moved guys around the formation differently. And it had Georgia on their heels a little bit, but we weren't able to, to get our playmakers the ball on that. And I think, when you keep putting in, these different things, it gets to be a little bit tough. And so I think really for this week, it's just getting back to what we do well, getting our playmakers the ball, getting it to them in space, but keeping it simple. Football it's an easy game, and it's very easy to try to outsmart the other guy or to try to outsmart, the coordinator across the field or outsmart the coach across the field when it's just, do what you do well, and execute on that. But yeah.
Talking with Michael Flint here, Watto's World. Apologies for the YouTube stream. This is out of our control.
Yeah, we're doing everything we can. We try to make
StreamYard, it's a YouTube issue, not a StreamYard issue. So, but again, if you're listening, we'll have a podcast format. We'll have this on video, just this segment. For those of you that missed it, we apologize for that. But that's boy, it's been a week, kind of a week here, right, Phil? Goodness gracious. I look at it and I think of those that's kind of like what I would like to see out of this offense, and I've never really felt the plays or the formations were the issue. It's just kind of been more. I mean, you look at Georgia last week; they did a lot of the same concepts South Carolina has, but they attack one side, they attack another side, another side. They're mixing up their runs and passes. It seems like. They knew what to call and when. Like when B.J. Gibson comes on the field, they go right after him. I don't get the sense that's happening, but maybe it is, and it's just execution breakdown.
Yeah, I think a lot of it up front. Up front being able to really block and get Rattler that time. There was some guys running open. We had some opportunities. There was some opportunities. I feel like that. We kind of motioned some of Georgia's defenders into a better position to make a play per se. And it's hard to really explain it without really seeing it. But,
sure.
There was a time where we motioned Amari and Brown across the formation at the snap of the ball. and we handed it to Marshawn Lloyd in the backfield. But that guy, they were in man coverage, and that safety that was shifting with Amari and Brown read run very early and sat on the run, and he was the guy that made the play. He was an unblocked guy that made the play that we potentially could have gone for some chunk you but you had Amari and Brown running free, coming out of motion, and the read was run by the defender, and that's something you look at and you come back to and say, we had those guys thinking he was on his heels a little bit. Let's come back to that next series, and let's then fake the handoff and let's roll Rattler outside of the pocket and get a quick dump to Amari and Brown. And it's those kind of things that would like to see, and
they're missing. Yeah.
It's just trying to set up that play to get to the next one and really see what Georgia's doing. And it's, we like to say it's chess, but it's checkers. It's do what you do well, and keep it simple. Don't try to overcomplicate it.
Talk with Michael Flint, wrapping up here on a Friday on the show. Again, sorry for the YouTube stream being down, but a lot of you can go catch it in podcast format. Hopefully some of you got on with our Twitter stream or Facebook stream. Again, this is a YouTube issue, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens there. But, you kind of look at it and, this game and, the get well game, I think, is real, Mike, because I think, you're on a college football team. Everybody gets to play. Everybody's happy. If you go out there and take care of business, it's a big blowout win. People's stats look a little better. Everybody comes back to practice the next week fired up because they not only they won, but they got some playing time. That's what every player wants to do is get on the field. Do you buy that? Do you think something, even though fans and the media aren't going to give you a whole lot of credit for beating Charlotte, but if you go out there, take care of business, have a big win, everybody plays, it gets you ready for the next week and then the Kentucky game. Your thoughts on that and, what this team could actually maybe achieve internally if they go out there and handle their business.
Yeah, I think winning really, it's simple. Winning cures all. It cures with the fan base. It cures in the locker room with the coaches, the camaraderie between everybody. Winning is a good thing. And you look at that and you come out, you have a good game. Everybody's stats look good. The locker room is happy. Practices are more energized. You practice better. Everybody is upbeat. There's not as much kind of loafing around and disappointment. And, the more kind of, it's just in life in general, the happier you are, the better you feel, the better you perform at whatever it is that you do. And so I think, it's the same as it is in life. And, winning really does cure all. And those guys, they win, they have a good game, build up the stat sheet. Everybody gets to play. The camaraderie in the locker room is good. Everybody's happy. Everybody's moving around fast. They want to be around each other. And it's the same on the practice field. Practices are more up tempo. They're more lively. You get more done. They're more productive. And everybody practices better, and they play. They practice harder, they play better, and they play faster. And I think that's really what we need to get back to. And winning does cure all. I think these are two really, starting not looking past Charlotte, but these 2 weeks are 2 really critical weeks in the direction I think of which, the direction of the season. And I hate to look at it that way, but it really is tough. I mean, the fans feel it. I think the players feel it. They want to go out there and perform. They want to win. And I think having success these next 2 weeks can kind of take what's happened over the course of the last 3 weeks and really continue to build that, the positive momentum that we had going into the season and really the energy that the fans brought. Because I'll tell you, the players, especially the players, appreciate the heck out of that energy because it really does correlate down to the field. And those players feed off the energy and you play harder, you play faster. It's just that energy really fuels what happens on Saturdays from the stands down. So, it's a big couple of weeks and really need to get better each week, perfect what we want to do, be really good at what we do. I think get Rattler comfortable back there, get him comfortable in the pocket, let the game slow down, feel the pressure, don't see the pressure, get the ball out quickly and find Marshawn Juju some holes to run through and Christian Beal-Smith as well. We got to get that run game back going.
All right, Michael, final minutes here with Michael Wandu Flint. He joins us every Friday to break down the Carolina game. A few more predictions. Christian says 45-17 Gamecocks from Chattanooga, Tennessee. ESP says 21-17 Gamecocks with a pick six to ice it late. Ooh.
That's a bad day.
That's not going to happen. And Diane Bro says, I'm just going to call you Bro, right? I'll answer this next week because I want to get into it a little bit, but I agree with Tony. He asked me to compare a couple of offensive coordinators. So final prediction, I think it's hard for a lot of people after what's happened the last 2 weeks to get up and say, all right, they're going to turn it completely around this week and all that. But your prediction for Saturday?
It's tough. It's been hard at times because I feel, everybody wants to say we're close, and I think every team that's struggling can say that because of a few missed assignments, but can't continue to make those same mistakes. I think we do come out and score a lot of points. I think Rattler does come out and have a big game. I think from a fan perspective, if we don't score 40 based on the statistically of what Charlotte's defense does, I think it's a disappointment. But I want to see us come out and dominate. There's going to be a lot of young guys on defense, and I want to see us come out flying around, attacking the quarterback, putting pressure on the quarterback, and really, dominating. And I think this is a game that we can do that, and I think you'll see a lot of young guys really have some good games. And I think 49. I think 49-14. I really do. I think Charlotte could score a little bit more than what we would like because of the youth that we're going to have and the inexperience. And you look at the amount of injuries that we've had on that defense. It could be a lot of learning experiences that go on Saturday and some mistakes. But I think it's that 49-14, and we kind of get back on track per se and start to get a little bit of momentum back.
All right, Michael. Thanks a whole lot, man. Always great to catch up with you, and we'll talk to you next week. And hopefully you have a great weekend.
Yeah, man. Enjoyed it. Go Cox.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Wando's World again. Sorry for the YouTube just crapping out on us, man. I freaking Google, man.
Who knows?
You think we've been canceled?
Canceled. What did we say?
Oh, man.
What did we say?
All right. So we're wrapping up for the week. What was your prediction, Phil? 49-17?
45. 45.
And I had 38-13, 38-10. 38-10, I think I had. Wando had 49-14. It is what it is, man. We'll be back as always on Monday to break everything down for you and review. We'll have Keith all step in for the Monday review. A lot of people like to hear from Keith on Monday, so that's the plan as of right now. We had to reschedule Evan from last week, and so Evan Woodbury from Tito's and Chicken will join us next week. We're looking forward to that. A lot of other new guests and guests you hadn't heard from in a while, and all that happiness right here on Inside the Gamecocks show. Thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube page, The Big Spur, and for watching each and every day. We'll be back next week, and always also catch this on Apple Pods, Spotify, and all that. Anywhere you get podcast, you can get this show in its entirety. For Phil Mullinax, JC Sherbert, everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy the games. Another college game day, week 4, and we'll be back to talk to you on Monday.